amateurs and as a professional. He took him as far as he could do, and where he took him to was far enough to achieve what most people only dream of. So I don't think Anthony Joshua, it sounds like Anthony Joshua's dissing Rob Mccracken. I don't think he's, I think it's the way it's being reported. I think Anthony Joshua knows that as far as he's concerned, Robert McCracken couldn't teach him anymore. So he needed more wisdom elsewhere. And it sounds like it's a slant, it sounds like it's a dig at Rob. It comes across that way. But you know, Anthony Joshua's made the decision to say, look, I'm loyal to you, I respect you, but you couldn't give me any more. And what you did to me, I appreciate. But I need to look on. So it's a case of how the information, I'd love to hear the interview because things can be taken out of context. It's a case of how the information is being digested by the people reporting on it.
Those are the words of Johnny Nelson as he's responding to the Anthony Joshua statements about Rob McCracken and really deciphering whether or not Anthony Joshua was taking a dig at Rob McCracken. And, you know, without further information, he doesn't know if that was the case. However, I can tell you guys what it was, okay? Because I heard the whole interview. I read it all. If anything, he wasn't taking a dig at Rob McCracken, okay? But I'm going to get to that later. If anything, he was taking a dig at Carl Froch. You know, and he was using Rob McCracken, though, as the example of a fighter that did run the full course with that trainer and see where did it get him. Better yet, where did it get his nose, right? So, I think that was more of Carl Froch being used as a tool because Carl Froch has had a lot to say about Anthony Joshua, just a lot of shit. And I don't think it was because it was mixed reviews, though. I think it's exactly how Johnny Nelson thought it was. Anthony Joshua, since he's learned so much from where he's at now, he's now realizing, hey, I should have got with another trainer or Derek James, which is another trainer, years ago. Okay, because I'm learning so much now that I'm almost kind of mad at myself for wasting the time that I spent with Rob McCracken, because Rob McCracken can only get me so far. But as you guys seen my other video, you know, about Lennox Lewis and his comments, you know, that's what he was saying. He said that years ago. So there you go. But I don't think it was a diss at Rob McCracken. I think Anthony Joshua has a lot of respect for Rob McCracken. I think he always will. You know, I just think he's just seeing the difference between that. However, I will say this, to be fair. The Anthony Joshua of old, I wouldn't imagine him saying anything derogatory to the slightest about Rob McCracken. Okay, so I think what happens with fighters, I think when they grow, they unravel and they open up as time, you know, and they become more like themselves. The person that you didn't know is the person that you will begin to know. Okay, just like the near riot after the Jermaine Franklin fight, the chunking of the belts of Usyk belts, losing the rematch with Usyk. You know, these are things and characteristics and habits that you're seeing from a person that was pretty close-knit and that you didn't see. He was that behind-the-scenes guy. I think now on Anthony Joshua, you're starting to see, hey, this is me. Fuck those curtains. Fuck all that. This is who I am. This is how I feel. You either like it or you don't. This is AJ. This is Anthony, Big Femi, Ola Femi, Joshua, right? Ola Femi, right? Joshua. That's who he is. And, you know, he's not the only one that done that. Canelo has recently, you know, went from, you know, estoy listo para lo que sea, yo respeto mis voceos, los luchadores, por todos, porque ellos entrar el ring. Muchas gracias por todos. Now he's like, fuck those motherfuckers. You want to fuck with me, motherfucker? You know what I mean? That was that Canelo from a back in the day that only spoke Spanish, and it was all respect, and it was all, hey, I'm just here to do my job. I respect this guy. I respect that guy, to that guy we have now in front of us, which is 33 years of age, needless to say, the same age as Anthony Joshua. Okay? So, fighters change as they grow, and then when they grow, you know, people, you know, start realizing that that fifth wall needs to be knocked out. You know, like, hey, let's stop pretending like, you know, I don't feel this way when I really do. You know, people just really just stop the facade. They you know, they're tired of putting on this representative or this politician, what's the word, personality for the public, and start showing you, hey, this is who I am. If we look at Mike Tyson, for example, Mike Tyson was a guy that he was very young when he won the championship. But over the years, you've seen Mike, and Mike found this out early about people and how people thought of him and how he cared how people thought of him. You know what I mean? He stopped caring. But you know what? That made him, that developed him to not give a shit. And since that developed him to not care, excuse me, he did sporadic things. And those sporadic things is what made him one of the most talked about, famous, popular fighters on the planet. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Johnny Nelson's breakdown of Anthony Joshua and Rob McCracken's so-called beef. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!